Stories of Great Christians. We're bringing you transcribed from the radio studios of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, Chapter 13, In Beautiful Upon the Mountains, the story of John and Isobel Kuhn.
So, Belle, that week you and Edna spent up in Tutton wasn't wasted time. The seed was being sown.
Let me read that message from the Wood family again. Funny, I felt so hopeless most of the time up there, Alan. I came back here to Chiang Mai so discouraged.
Hopeless is the word for it, Alan. Why, we did everything we could, and I must have given out about 1 million aspirin. So many arthritics there.
I taught myself horse and sang. How I sang.
Beautifully.
Well, they seemed to listen anyway. They did like my guitar, but it was always tomorrow. Now this message.
Even this man Wood, the one who sent the message, Alan, if he said it once, he said it 12 times. I'll believe in Jesus tomorrow.
Well, he meant it. This is tomorrow, and he wants to do it now. That's why he's begging for a missionary to come back again.
I don't know what we can do. With John away, should we decide something like this ourselves? I really don't know what we can do for the Woods. Do you want any more curry?
Oh, just a little.
I'll tell the cook. Cook!
Belle, doesn't she know how to cook anything else?
Yes, ma'am. You called?
Another platter of this delicate, wonderful, delicious curry, please.
Yes, ma'am. It gives me happiness. Bring 2 platters.
John calls her Madam Curry. We don't think she knows that you can eat anything without curry.
Here, ma'am. For the gentleman. So?
Oh, thank you.
Well, Alan, Edna, I guess the problem is, what do we do now? This request is about the clearest that's ever come. This man wants a missionary to come back to his house so that he can accept Christ as Savior. Now, in the absence of our respected superintendent, who likes to make all decisions, but who happens to be away on a survey...
I don't think your husband is as much a dictator as you paint him, Belle.
Just once in a while. Anyway, what do we do? With your heart condition, Al.
Belle, I do have an answer. My wife and I, Evelyn and I, did some asking. We can get some good sturdy saddle horses for the trip.
Oh?
I talked to Dr. Bucher. If I ride, there's no reason why I can't make the trip up to Tengo.
Would you dare?
I've already decided. I think John would approve, don't you?
I don't want to be put in that position. I don't want to say what John would say.
Well, I'm going anyway. I've booked a porters, so you couldn't argue. Evelyn and I start out tomorrow. This is a major breakthrough for Christ. It's worth some risk.
Alan and Evelyn Cook started for the Lisu village. Isobel and Edna waited a while, and when John did not return from his survey trip, decided that God wanted them to take some initiative too.
We'll need some of these Lisu catechisms. Put them in the bottom, Edna. We'll pack around them.
Right.
Plenty of pencils and paper. There's sure to be somebody there who wants to learn how to read and write.
Let's not crowd this with too many bookish things. We need some space for the medicine.
Are we going to heal Lisu bodies or Lisu souls?
Both. Hand me those 2 boxes of Atribrin.
There. I want to tuck in this Chinese New Testament.
They don't talk Chinese in Tutton.
You never know. John always says, be prepared.
I wonder what John would say about this whole adventure.
We'll find out, won't we, when he gets home from his survey trip and we get home from the Lisu.
Here, put this aspirin in.
There isn't room.
Oh, yes, there is, over in the corner, right there.
There. That's all. Oh, hand me those pencils. Well, we're ready. Here we go again, Edna. David's pebbles, ready to be fired from the slingshot, up to Goliath's temple. Come on, Pebble. Our porters are waiting.
Halfway up to Taunton-Go, the two women met Alan and Evelyn coming down, and they had good news. Father Wood had accepted Christ as his Savior, and had proved it by publicly burning his demon shelf. So the Cooks went on down to base camp, and Isobel and Edna kept on climbing until they reached Taunton-Go.
Yes, Mama, I understand. I want less aches and pains in my back and legs, but I want Jesus Christ in my heart more. So I pull down the demon shelf. I throw away my opium pipe. I pray that you come back to teach me about Jesus.
God bless you, Father Wood.
Sit down, two missionary ladies. Sit down on my mat and talk, please.
Now that I'm back from my survey trip and you're back from your excursions up into the Lisu villages, Belle, I think it's time we can begin to sort out our reactions and feelings and decide what to do next.
Meanwhile, Belle plans the meals for 4 new language students, gets the house ready for the little tea for teachers on Sunday afternoon, and in between times...
Belle, please.
Makes up her mind, pardon me, waits for the immovable object superintendent to make up his mind about whether to accept an invitation to come back and set up a station in a Lisu village. Oh, John, after 23 years, don't you know me at all?
I think your question has to be asked another way. Don't you know the mission and its policy by now?
But what has that...
I accepted the fact that you two women went rashly off. Dangerously
The
off.
Lord was with us.
Dangerously. And did a wonderful piece of work in the village. I accept that.
Thank you.
But I do not react quite as well to their invitation to build you two a shanty of your own up there.
Because you want me here all the time as a housekeeper.
No, because accepting the offer is not quite the China Inland Mission way. Our way has always been indigenous. We don't go unless people ask us, and this is different.
The people of Taunton-Go did ask.
Ask you to come back and give vaccine and to work.
We'll preach too. I'll start a Bible class, and I won't be gone all the time, just back and forth.
I know that, but it's not quite the same. They are not asking you to come in because all they want is your preaching. They want the medicine.
Just this once.
I don't know. What would they say in London?
Please.
Belle.
Immovable object. Please. Let Edna and me go back to the village. Well, there it is. That's our shanty, Edna.
Is that what it is?
Whatever did they make it out of?
Looks like old planks to me.
Warped old planks. And there's a length of old matting attached.
Then, look, they finished it with a bunch of old poles strapped together.
They build well when they build. At least they strapped them together. Well, there's our headquarters and home. Lisu North, Thailand style.
It certainly is higgledy-piggledy.
Of course it is. We move in tomorrow. The two pebbles move into higgledy-piggledy.
Oh, Belle, don't let them hear you.
They won't. A handsome mansion you have built for us, sir. We are going to name it Higgledy-Piggledy. But look, Edna, it's on the edge of a knoll of gray rocks.
In the spring, there'll be flowers.
There's no furniture yet, but from the veranda... Come over here, Edna. From the veranda, look down there. The whole village spreads out before you. And beyond, off below, the Thai plain. What if the walls are crooked? It's beautiful.
For more than 2 years, Higgledy-Piggledy House was advance camp for Edna and Isobel, whenever they could find the time for a week's stay or more in Tottengo. Finally, Edna and a friend moved up to stay permanently as missionaries in residence for the Christian villagers, and Isobel was free to give time just to be with John, helping him, taking long trips with him around the entire Thailand field.
It is good to be back. John, I think I'm going to move that table around under the window.
Not tonight.
No, but after you've been away, everything looks different. Thanks for taking me along on this tour, Superintendent.
You could go on all of them if you had the time.
Oh, this is good tea. The moment I like best, the one I wish I could capture, is when a family pulls down its demon shelf. They pull and yank, and then suddenly, for no reason at all, it gives, and the whole miserable thing, shredded paper and little idols and all, comes down.
Yes, in a way it's like life, the Christian life. You work and work at something that's wrong in your life, and then suddenly, for no reason at all that you can see, the whole problem eases up, and you're thinking straight about it.
I think this whole trip has been like a Christian life. It seems we're always going up.
Yes, we were.
And every step was a struggle. But at the time, there was something worth climbing for.
That's good.
Or there's a poem by Amy Carmichael.
Good old Amy. Haven't heard you quote her for at least a week.
There's a line that says, "Climb or die." That's been the story of my life.
Over the Burma Pass, into Lisu land, up to the Thai villages. Maybe that's your title.
But the book wouldn't be about me. It would be about all of the missionaries we know. And I mustn't forget Dr. Bucher and his lepers. I'd put them in, too. Here, you take my teacup, John. Suddenly, I'm very tired. It's been a full week.
Good night, Belle.
Good night, John.
If Isobel had had more time during her life in Chiang Mai, she probably would have been in and out of Dr. Raymond Bucher's hospital, doing helpful things for his leprosy patients. But there was time to pray for Ray's work, and that was all. But that day in 1954, she knew that she must make time in a busy day to visit the hospital just a mile or so away on the other side of town.
Here, sit down. We appreciate the time John has given the hospital with that adult Bible study class.
Yes,
Yeah, they look forward to it.
he enjoys it.
You know, we had 6 people go over to the Leprosy Bible School in Kong Han. That's quite a unique place, run by the Christian and Missionary Alliance.
I've never been there. Someday. Ray,
Oh, yes, Bill?
I came over today partly to see your new dorms, but I have another reason.
You want to ask me to do something for the Lisu?
Not this time. It's just me. I think I'd like an appointment for a checkup.
Well, that's easy. It's about time, I suppose. You and John have been in Thailand, well, it's almost 2 years, isn't it?
Just about.
Good idea to have a regular checkup. How about next Tuesday, 2:30?
Yes.
See you then, Belle.
Yes. Well, thanks for a good afternoon. I'll remember it. Thanks. See you next Tuesday.
And so we conclude Chapter 13 of Beautiful Upon the Mountains, the transcribed story of John and Isobel Kuhn. This is another in the series, Stories of Great Christians, produced by the Department of Broadcasting of the Moody Bible Institute in Chicago.